The beating of war drums can be heard in the Western Sahara, Africa's last colony. It may look like a vast desert by the Atlantic, but the region is rich in phosphate fishing banks and it is believed to have offshore oil deposits. After the departure of Spanish colonial power in 1975, Morocco annexed three-quarters of the Western Sahara. Supported by Algeria, the Polisario Front, the national liberation movement of the Sahrawi people, controls the other third. In 1991, the UN brokered a ceasefire between Moroccans and Sahrawis and established a peacekeeping mission that will help set a referendum on the territory's future, but it has never taken place. On Saturday, the Sahrawi army broke a 29-year-old ceasefire and declared war on Morocco.
Young people, and mostly young Sahrawi people who are born in the refugee camps in Algeria, they feel desperate. They don't see any alternative. They've been already for 4 generations waiting for an agreement, for a referendum, for a solution under the law, but they don't see it.
The announcement from the Polisario Front came after the Moroccan army launched an operation to unblock the Guerguerat Pass, a United Nations patrol buffer zone, which had been blocked for 3 weeks by Sahrawi activists. Meanwhile, the UN and the European Union are calling for the respect of the ceasefire to not revive a conflict that has been frozen for decades.
This conflict can have a big impact on Mauritania, Mali, which is already in war, Algeria, which has a very critical political situation in this moment. So let's say this could be the first little fire in a very dry, big mountain. It can become a big serious problem.
30 years later, Africa's last colonial territory is trying to break its chains. Sofia Sanchez, Euronews.
Well, there are so many issues and dossiers between Spain and Morocco and other neighboring countries, one of them being migration and other flows of trafficking, but also very dense economic relations, as well as security cooperation, fight against terrorism, and many other things. So one way of sometimes of conveying messages among neighbors is done in an indirect way, and migration is one of those ways of saying, hey, maybe we need to talk about something else, because all of the links that exist between the different dossiers, and obviously for Spain, that is a very important topic internally and for its public opinion as well. Well, Spain has a position that is in a way difficult because in part the fact that the Western Sahara is the largest non-self-governing territory in the world is due to the fact that Spain withdrew in a very complicated way in 1976. So this Spanish public opinion, there's a lot of sympathy towards the Sahrawis and the feeling among many Spaniards that Spain abandoned them. But at the same time, the official level, there are so many interests with Morocco, the country that controls most of the territory of the Western Sahara, and that considers this as a national cause. So the Spanish governments have, in a way, maintained a discourse of supporting the UN process, but at the same time supporting Morocco diplomatically and trying to keep the best relations possible with the Moroccan state.